Hello and welcome. This is the video presentation for Wireless Network Technologies Assignment 1. I'm Nadik Fernando and my register number is MS24908160. Today, we are going to look into the foundation knowledge which is required for wireless communication. Over the next few minutes in the video, we'll break down and discuss key concepts, wireless technologies, and explore the challenges that we face in wireless communication. So now, let's get started. In today's interconnected world, wireless communication is at the heart of almost every technological advancement. Whether it be a laptop, whether it be a smartphone, whether it be Wi-Fi with emerging technologies like 5G and future 6G networks. So in our video, we will cover the evolution of wireless systems starting from basic principles of data transmission and signal processing, moving through to the critical roles of modulation, multiplexing, and advanced antenna designs. And finally, we will address the security protocols that safeguards our communications. By understanding these foundational concepts, you will gain insight into how these technologies work together to deliver seamless and reliable connectivity in a competitive and increasingly digital landscape. Now, let's move into the fundamentals of data communication. Data communication is built upon the core idea of transmitting data, processing signals, and then using networking protocols. At its heart, it involves a sender that encodes the data into signals, a transmission medium that carries these signals, and a receiver that decodes them. Think of it as a well-organized conversation where every part of the message to the rules of communication works together to make sure that the data is passed accurately. Wireless communication is simply an extension of data communication, applying these same principles in a wireless environment. We have few different modes of data communication methods. Simplex, which is where the data flows only at one direction. For example, a TV broadcast sends signals from the station to your TV without a return path. Also, another example is normal radio stations, where we only hear what the broadcast station broadcasts. Next up, half duplex. Communication alternates between sending and receiving. A walkie-talkie is a good example, where one person speaks while the other person listens, and then they switch roles. And for full duplex, data flows in both directions at the same time. Think of a telephone conversation where both parties can talk and listen simultaneously. So each communication mode is chosen based on specific application and the level of reliability needed. In short, the right communication mode makes sure that our messages are delivered effectively and a clear manner. Now, let's focus on signal properties and transmission challenges. In wireless communication, we can mainly work with two types of signals, which is analog and digital. So analog signals, these are continuous waves, much like smooth curves of sound, and they can take on many values also. And then they are great for representing real world information, which is environmental information, for example, such as music or speech. However, because they change continuously, they can easily be affected by noise or interference. For example, when you listen to FM radio stations, any interference make the data which is being broadcast sound less clear. So when you focus on the digital signals, those signals use two types of values, which is zeros and ones. This makes them more robust, and also it is because that they are not affected, not totally, but they are less affected by noise, and any errors that can occur can be often be corrected. That's why modern communication systems like Wi-Fi and mobile phones rely on these digital signals. Let's focus on transmission challenges. When a signal travels, they face few challenges. Attenuation, distortion, and noise. Attenuation is the signal weakness as it gets weakened when it travels over long distances. So distortion is part of the signal might change shape because they were traveling at different speeds. So also noise. So noise is unwanted signals from other sources which can mix with the original signal, making it harder to understand. So to deal with such issues, engineers use modulation techniques. Modulation involves changing a carrier wave in a controlled way so that the data can be sent more clearly. For example, amplitude modulation, so it changes the strength of the wave, and then frequency modulation, which changes how often the wave repeats, and digital modulation, which changes both strength and timing of the wave. And by choosing the right method, we can ensure that our signals remain clear and strong even when they travel longer distance or through any noisy environments. Now, let's focus on the role of antennas in wireless communication. So antennas are key devices that convert electrical signals to electromagnetic waves and vice versa. So this enables us to communicate wirelessly, and in the wireless environment, it acts as a bridge. For example, a Wi-Fi router uses its antenna to convert signals from the internet into radio waves that your smartphone or the laptop can pick up. So let's look into types of antennas. We have few types: directional antennas and patch antennas, parabolic reflector antennas, which falls under reflect antennas, and GPS antennas. So let's focus on omnidirectional first. These antennas radiate signals at every direction, so 360 coverage. For example, your home Wi-Fi router does the thing where that it gives 360 coverage for you to connect to a network. So semi-directional and highly directional antennas focus signals in a specific direction. Think of a microwave link between two buildings to have secure or highly strong communication networks. So it can be used to focused connection over long signals. And next, patch antennas. These are small, low-profile antennas, which makes them ideal for mobile phones and tablets. So whenever our smartphones needs to connect to various networks, those smartphones uses patch antennas to connect to any Wi-Fi network or other networks. So parabolic reflector antennas are curved surfaces which focuses the signal just like a satellite dish that delivers the TV signals. Next up, we have GPS antennas designed to accurately receive signals from satellites. For instance, antennas in your car's navigation system ensures that it has a precise location data all the time. So next, let's move on to advanced technologies. So there are a few. Let's talk about beamforming. It directs signals to a specific device. So modern Wi-Fi 6 routers are implemented with this technology, and smart antennas that automatically adjust the pattern in real time. So it helps cellular towers to manage traffic better. Then we have MIMO technology. It uses multiple antennas to send and receive several data in a simultaneous manner. Reconfigurable intelligence services. So this is an emerging technology, although it's still in development. RIs can integrate into building walls to dynamically reflect signals and improve the coverages. So each of these types and technologies play a crucial role in making our wireless networks more efficient and reliable and capable for meeting today's competitive connectivity demands. Next, let's talk about decibels. What are decibels? Decibels, or dB for short, is a logarithmic unit. It is used to measure the strength of signals. In wireless communication, and decibels helps us to quantify the power gain and attenuation effectively. For instance, power gain is calculated as log into 10 to the base of P out over P in. P out means power out and P in is power in, while the voltage gain is calculated using 20 into log to the base V out over V in. So we usually use decibels to measure sound pressure levels and signal losses, and this logarithmic scale simplifies the representation of very large and small numbers, which is crucial when designing amplifiers and ensuring that the signal quality is maintaining over long distance and also in networks. Next, we will be focusing on modulation techniques. So modulation is the process of modifying a carrier wave to encode our data, so making it possible to transmit information over a specific frequency. So this process allows to use a signal frequency channel efficiently and a reliable manner. So we can divide modulation techniques into two main categories. So it would be analog and digital modulation. So if you focus on analog modulation, we have another three main types, which is amplitude modulation, frequency modulation, and phase modulations. So amplitude modulations varies the carrier wave's amplitude in line with the data. So it is a simple and a widely used technology in radio broadcasting, though it is prone to be affected by noise. So then we have frequency modulation. It changes the carrier wave's frequency according to the digital signal. So FM allows better resistance to noise, which is why it's common in radio broadcasting nowadays. Phase modulation. So it alters the phase of the carrier wave. Although it is used less on its own, the PM forms the basis of more complex modulation schemes in the current world. Moving on to digital modulation. In modern wireless systems, they prefer to use digital modulation because it provides higher data capacity and improved error correction, which is a must in modern networks. So we have few main types of modulation techniques in digital modulation, which is amplitude shift keying, frequency shift keying, phase shift keying, and quadrant amplitude modulation. So amplitude shift keying is where the amplitude switches between different levels. In frequency shift keying, it uses different frequencies to represent the digital data. So phase shift keying uses the method of altering the phase of the carrier to encode bits. So quadrant amplitude modulation is the powerful method that combines both amplitude and phase changes. So it enables the transmission of more data in the same bandwidth. Finally, using these schemes can optimize data transfer rates and maintain signal integrity even under challenging transmission conditions. These methods carefully balances the efficiency and reliability in key modern digital communications. Now let's talk about multiplexing. While modulation, which we discussed in the previous slide, puts data on a carrier wave, multiplexing lets several signals use the same channel at the same time. This is a key for making the most of the available bandwidth. There are few different types of multiplexing. Let's break it down. First, we have frequency division multiplexing, which it uses slices of the frequency range for each signal. So it's like different lanes in the highway. Then we have time division multiplexing, where the signal gets a specific time slot to send its data. It's much like taking turns to speak in a conversation. Then we have code division multiplexing, where every signal uses its own unique code to stay separate, even if they share the same frequency. Then we have orthogonal frequency division multiplexing, where the data is split into small parts, or in technical terms subcarriers, and it helps reducing interference. In addition, we have spatial multiplexing, which is often called MIMO, multi-input, multi-output. So it uses multi-antennas to send several streams of data at once, greatly increasing overall speed and capacity. And this is a key technique that is used in high-speed wireless networks today. Now let's move our focus to networking models in wireless communication. So effective wireless communication depends on strong networking models that serves as a blueprint for how data is sent and received. So two key models that will guide us today will be the OSI model and the TCP/IP model. So let's focus on the OSI model first, which it has 7 layers, and it is a conceptual framework, and it standardizes communication functions. So first we have the physical layer. It handles the actual transmission of bits or the data over the air. Then the data link layer. It deals with error checking and controls how the devices access the wireless medium. Then we have the network layer, which routes the data from one device to another. Then we have the transport layer, which ensures the reliable data transfer between devices. Then we have the session layer, which manages the connections between devices. Then we have the presentation layer, which translates the data into a usable format. Finally, we have the application layer. It provides services directly to the user, like browsing and email. Then we have the TCP/IP model, which is a simpler model, but it is a practical model, and it is used in networking and internet protocols. So now let's focus on the layers of the TCP/IP model, which it has 4. First, network interface layer. It manages the physical transmission of data. Then we have the internet layer, which takes care of addressing and routing. It makes sure the data gets where it needs to go. Then we have the transport layer, which oversees the reliable communication using TCP or faster connectionless protocols like UDP. Then we have application layer. It supports the end users, services and applications. Both models actually ensures that the data is packaged, sent and received properly, which is essential in the view of interoperability across various wireless technologies. From Wi-Fi and LTE to emerging 5G technologies, essentially these models act as a rule book that lets different devices and networks communicate smoothly, ensuring that your wireless connection is both reliable and efficient. And now let's look into local area and wide area networks. What are local area networks? So these are the networks that connect devices in small areas like offices and homes using wired or wireless methods. They deliver faster speeds. So sometimes it can reach up to gigabit level, and it uses switches and routers to manage traffic. For example, your home Wi-Fi connects to your computer and your phone and your printer and other smart home appliances, keeping the data exchange quick and local. So then wide area networks. So WANs links different LANs over huge areas such as cities or even countries. They often use fiber optics or long range methods to carry data over great distances, and for the best example is the internet, which is a WAN that connects the networks worldwide, letting you browse websites from anywhere. So the role of TCP/IP. TCP/IP is the common language that makes both LANs and WANs works together. In LANs, it helps devices quickly find and talk to each other, while in WANs, it guides data across long distances using basic routing rules. Together, LAN and WAN supported by TCP/IP ensures that whether your data stays close or travels far, and it gets to the right place reliably and efficiently. Now let's look into the data link layer. So data link layer ensures that the data moves reliably in between devices that are connected to the network directly. So this layer takes data from the upper layers and it breaks down into smaller pieces called frames. It adds important details like headers and trailers into those frames, which helps to identify where each frame starts and ends. So there are a few functions related to data link layers. Let's start with framing and addressing. So it organizes the data in frames and uses physical addresses known as MAC addresses. It makes sure that each frame reaches the correct device. For example, when your computer sends data over the Wi-Fi, the MAC address helps the router to know where exactly the data needs to be forwarded to. So next we have flow control and error detection. So the layer also manages the flow of data. So the devices doesn't get overwhelmed by the high inflow of information at once. So it actually uses techniques like checksum and cyclic redundancy checks, in short CRC. It catches errors, ensuring that the data received is the same as the data being sent. So this data link layer is two sub layers. Those are logical link control and media access control. So the logical link access control handles the error control and ensures the frames are synchronized correctly. It's like keeping track of the conversation to make sure every message is understood. Next, we have media access control. So it controls access to the shared communication medium, making sure that only one device transmit at a time to avoid collision. For instance, a Wi-Fi network, MAC protocols prevent multiple devices from talking over each other. So together these functions form the backbone for a secure and efficient communication. Now let's look into multiple access technologies. In any network, many devices share the same channel. To avoid interference and ensure smooth data transmission, we use multiple access controls and protocols. Let's look into a few of those. First, random access methods. So in this method, devices transmit whenever they have the data without any centralized control. We'll be looking into two types. Aloha, which is where it sends the data immediately when it is available. When it is done without coordination, it can lead to collisions, because overlapping transmissions might occur if devices send the data at the same time. Then we have carrier sense multiple access, in short CSMA. In here, the devices check if the channel is free before transmitting. So the devices pause if they detect any ongoing transmissions, reducing the risk of collision. Next, we have controlled access methods. So in this method, a central mechanism or token system manages the devices and manages when it can send data. So we have two types. One is polling. It is a central control sequentially granting permissions to each device. It's like a meeting coordinator approving participant into the meeting. So then we have token passing. It is a special token which circulates among devices, and only the device with that token can transmit when it is available with that device. It will ensure an orderly communication. So next we have channelization protocols. In here, this protocol divides the channel into distinct segments so that the multiple devices can access and transmit simultaneously without interference. We have few of them. First, we have frequency division multiple access, where this method splits the channel into different frequency bands and assigning each device its own brand. Next, we have time division multiple access, where it assigns time slots for each device and transmitting its own slot. Next, we have code division multiple access, where it uses unique codes so that the device can share the same devices can share the same frequency without interfering. Next, we have OFDMA, which is orthogonal frequency division multiple access. It breaks the channel into many small subcarriers, and with each device allocated with a specific subcarrier. These protocols are crucial for ensuring fair access and minimizing collision, which helps the networks operate efficiently even when many devices are connected. Now let's look into how networks handle collision and keeps the flow of data. In wired networks, they use CSMA-CD, which is carrier sense multiple access with collision detection. In here, the devices listen to the channel, and if a collision occurs, they stop transmitting and retry after a random delay. This helps maximizing the throughput. In wireless networks, they use CSMA-CA, which is carrier sense multiple access with collision avoidance. In here, devices check if the channel is clear before transmitting, and use the RST and CTS, which stands for request to send and clear to send handshake method, and minimizes the problems. Together, these methods ensure efficient and reliable data transmission. Now let's compare wired and wireless LAN. Wired LANs rely on Ethernet cables or even fiber optics for high-speed backbone links. To these LANs deliver fast speeds, low latency, and strong security. However, setting up and maintaining networks can be complex and costly. On the other hand, wireless LANs offers mobility and flexibility, making them ideal for dynamic environments like offices and public spaces. They do face challenges such as interference and fluctuating speeds at higher security risks. Understanding these differences is a key to designing networks that can best meet our specific needs. Now, let's talk about wireless LAN standards and security. Wireless LANs follows IEEE 802.11 standards, which have evolved from early versions like 802.11a, which was introduced in 1999, to advanced Wi-Fi 6 standards like 802.11ax. These latest versions offers faster speed, improved range, and stronger security. Speaking about security, the security protocols have also advanced significantly, moving from vulnerable WEP, which is wired equivalent privacy, to privacy protocols, to WPA3, which is Wi-Fi protected access protocols, which provides the latest encryption and better defense against attacks. Now let's look into Internet Protocol in wireless networks. IP is the fundamental set of rules that governs how data is sent and received across networks. It ensures that every device and packet is properly identified and routed. There are few aspects of IP, and let's look into it. Addressing and routing. IP gives each device a unique address so that the data packets know where to go. Next, the routers gives and guides the data packets along the best path, much like a postal system with addresses and post offices. Next up, mobile IP. It allows devices to roam between networks without using their connection. These keep track of your device location so that data finds you always. So no drop calls or lost emails. Next, wireless IP security. Protects data. These protocols protects data in transit by authenticating and encrypting each packet. There are a few key components of IPsec, which is authentication header, which confirms that the sender's identity and maintains data integrity. Then encapsulating security payload, which encrypts data to keep it confidentially. Together, these IP features, addressing and routing, mobile IP, and IPsec, form the backbone of secure, seamless wireless communication. They let us stay connected and move freely and trust that our data remains protected at every step. Now that we have come to the end of our presentation, let's recap what we have covered. In summary, we explored the evolution of wireless communication from early analog methods to sophisticated digital networks that powers our world today. We examined how modulation and multiplexing techniques like AM, FM, QAM, and OFDM efficiently encodes and transmits data, and how antennas from basic omnidirectional types to advanced beamforming and MIMO systems improve signal quality for technologies like 5G and Wi-Fi 6. We also compared networking models, noting that both OSI and TCP/IP frameworks ensure data is packaged, transmitted, and secured across various layers. Additionally, we reviewed the collision management techniques. Wired networks use CSMA-CD, while wireless systems rely on CSMA-CA, with RTS and CTS handshake to minimize interference. On the security side, we traced the evolution from vulnerable WEP protocol to stronger measures like WPA3 protocols. Understanding these foundational principles is crucial, as they form the basis for future innovations like 6G and reconfigurable intelligence services, which promises even faster, more reliable and secure networks. Thank you.